Oh hi, I'm Ed Grocott, ICT champion over here in the Channel Islands in Jersey. And these generally exclusive videos are 5 reasons why I love using OneNote whilst teaching maths.
Number 1, Lasso Select. It can be found under the Draw tab here in OneNote. I'm quite lucky because I'm a Surface Pro user. I'll just click and hold my pen, and as I then draw around it allows me to select the digital inking that's on my page. So when I'm finding an area of compound shapes like this one, for my students it allows me to move the digital inking around so as I can be very specific about the measurements I'm talking about. This measurement here is made up of 10 meters, part of it is 4, therefore then this missing length here is 6 meters. And when I got into the area of my triangle, I can then use my 8 meter measurement here that also forms the base of the triangle. And because I can lasso select, I can move this around. It really comes into its own when you're trying to find the perimeter of a shape. And when I lasso select, I can also then use my shortcut keys. I've selected that digital inking, so by compressing Ctrl C and Ctrl V, I can then create another one that I then move around the page to help my students visualize measurements on perimeter and area of compound shapes using the lasso select for the digital inking tools right here within Microsoft OneNote. Number 2, transformations. I love teaching transformations in OneNote because it allows my students to get a visual representation of everything I'm trying to communicate. I'm going to move my pétanque court. I've got some criteria which I need to satisfy. So first of all, I've lasso select, I've Ctrl C and Ctrl V because now I can talk to my students about the vectors at which I might have to move my pétanque court around my garden. Brilliant. I have got to make sure though that the long edge is parallel to the house. So I might then talk to them about rotating it. Right click on the shape that I've lasso select, go to rotate and rotate it 90 degrees. Brilliant. I can now keep the center of origin, rotate my pétanque court so as my students can see exactly where this would then need to be to satisfy this criteria. Teaching transformations in OneNote. It's brilliant. Number 3, plotting linear graphs. Yes, I can do that straight away here in OneNote. I'm going to go and buy some Robbie Williams tickets, which are very cheap. They cost £2 each. I don't know how many I'm going to buy, but I do know that there's a £5 administration fee. Oh look, this looks like a linear equation. I can do the same for the Kenny Chesney tickets. Yes, I can. They're £3 each, and there's a £1 administration fee. Now, I've asked my students, at what stage would these be costing the same amount of money, and how could I show this? Well, I can show this on a linear graph. I've gone to Lasso Select again, told you it was important, and now under the Draw tab, I'm going to tap Maths Tools. This gives me some options, but the one I'm looking for allows me to graph it in 2D. That's not quite telling me when they're going to cost the same. I need that intercept point there. So I've scrolled out and now I can insert this straight onto my page right here in OneNote. I train my students how to do this as well. So as then I'm not wasting time getting them plotting out graphs on graph paper anymore. I'm doing it all here within OneNote using the maths tools that you can find under the Draw tab. Number 4 is the replay tool. I've formed this expression based on my question here and I'm then going to turn it into an equation that I want to solve. I find myself modelling examples like this so many times to my students and I ask them to follow along. Well, I do so with the reassurance that they can then replay this themselves right here within OneNote. I'm going to start putting in my solution steps. I'm going to take away 100 from this side and I'm also going to take away 100 from this side, leaving me 4x is equal to 2,400, and then I'm going to divide both sides by 4. Brilliant. I'm asking my students all the time to follow along with this, but then, as I said earlier, I know that they can go to the replay tool. It's under the View tab, and that allows them to select an area of digital inking on the OneNote page that they can then play back. They can use this slider and the pause button features here, already built in OneNote, so as they can go back and watch all of the solution steps at their own pace, right here within OneNote. I've got that modelled example, but I don't want my students rushing and fretting and copying down off the board. They can use the replay tool here in OneNote to do it at their own pace. Number 5, drawing graphs. I do this straight into OneNote too. I'll go to View and go to Rule Lines and insert a large grid on my page. And then when I go to Draw, I'll pick my shapes, which has already got some graph shapes for me. I can draw these then straight onto my page. I'm not using a visualizer on my desk and some squared paper. I'm going to do this into OneNote so as my students have a copy. And oh look, here's one I made earlier. I can now model this to my students so as then I can start to show them exactly where they should be plotting points on my scatter diagram here from the table, and I'll then be able to distribute this out through teams or through class distribution, built right here in OneNote for when I'm drawing graphs.
Thanks for watching. I hope you found them wonderful. See you next time.